Hi, this video we would be talking about the multi-currency and the process of managing multi-currency inside Odoo. So first thing, Odoo supports multi-currency in the Odoo operation part of it, and the multi-currency is a feature which can be enabled where you have two types of multi-currency available inside the system. One type of multi-currency is like where the currency value is automatically updated by the system from websites like xe.com or currency valuation websites. Another method of multi-currency is like the automatic update of the rates is not there. You should manually step into the multi-currency module and update the price. So what we're going to look here is we are looking at the second type of it, or the manual multi-currency management part of it. So whenever your organization in Odoo is managing the process of multi-currency, what you normally would do here is you can come to the accounting module and go to the configuration where you can see currencies. So when you click on the currencies, you can see all the currencies what you have enabled there. Now, first thing what we can look here is what is the default currency of this company, which can be easily identified going into the settings of the company. And when you go to the settings of the company, you can see the default currency mentioned here. And I'm telling that my default currency is AED. So what is going to happen here is every conversion will be automatically done to the AED currency or the base currency as AED. And if you come down, the value of 1 dirhams of AED is going to be 1 as always. Now, let's look into the other currencies which is already enabled. You can see that there is a euro, there is USD, and its currency rates and details there. Let's assume the scenario that you want some other currencies to be enabled. So when you go to this filter, you would be able to see inactive, currencies. And when you click on inactive currencies, it will start pushing out all the currencies in the system. So let's say that if you want to enable INR, you can enable the INR as well. And come back and look at it. Now you have one more currency there. Now, even if you have one more currency, you need to start defining the conversion rates and details inside it by logging inside the system. So, this is how you activate a new currency inside the system. And if you want to deactivate it, all you need to do here is you need to disable on this toggle button. So when you disable on the toggle button, basically it goes ahead and inactivates that currency for you. Now, if you look at any of the active currencies, inside the active currencies, you would have certain information which is available. First thing, of course, the currency name, the units and its subunits. But at the same time, you will have what is your current rate and what currently monthly rate it is going. Now, the current rate is what it will be using for the direct conversions, and the monthly rate will be using for your unrealized currency conversions. We'll talk about realized and unrealized currency conversions in detail. But before that, on the right side of it, you can see two buttons here. One button telling you that the rates. So when you click on the rates, it's going to tell you that every time what you have updated the rates of the currency. So let's put it like that. I have a new currency value for the day. What I can do here is I can just click on that date and I can go back and I can start filling it like 2.71. So probably I'm just adding, one more entry into it. And when I do it, I can come back, and if I look at my USD, I can see that instead of 2.70, which it was, I just shifted it to 2.71, which is my current rate or as on date. But at the same time, if you look at your current monthly rate, it still remains on 27 or 270. So you might not be updating this every time. Within a month, you might not update it twice or thrice, just like your currency variation. But your monthly currency is one time that you're updating, and this is the value which you would be using for the purpose of all your monthly unrealized currency conversion gain or loss. So this is two types of currency values which you're having inside the system, and once you have that, you're pretty much good with the currency values. Now, apart from the currency values, there are certainly some other information which you need to fill in. So let's go ahead and look into those factors. So the first thing what we need to look here is we need to identify an account for the purpose of you know making your loss and gain to be tagged. So I have created some accounts here. In fact, I have accounts here called as realized gains on difference of exchange and realized loss on difference on exchange. So basically, I've created one income and one expense account here, which captures those values, whatever gain is happening on the exchange value. So these are the two accounts which I've created for the realized gain. Similarly, I've created the unrealized gain and on the difference of balance sheet accounts and unrealized gain on the difference of P&L account. And similarly, I have unrealized loss on P&L and balance sheet. Now, you might come back to me and tell that I don't want these many accounts. I want to only keep one account. Even that is possible. So you can have a provision account or some different account which you want to categorize it for that purpose, and you can use the same account for all these purposes. But this is for a better management. If you want to drill down or if you want to have much more data from that, that's a purpose where we are setting it up like this. Alright, so right now we have all the accounts here. Now, first thing what we're going to do here is we will create two journals. One for the purpose of exchange difference. So this is going to be a realized variation, which would be whenever you are making a payment or any kind of transaction and you have some currency variation, you would tell here which is your debit account and which is your credit account. So this is what going to be your exchange difference journal. Now, similarly, for advanced accounting purposes, you can also make use of the one which is currency valuation, which is a monthly operation which you will be doing. I'm not defining the accounts out here. I'm just leaving it as it is. The reason is like I'm basically defining those things inside the settings of the finance module. So if you go to the configuration and settings, what you could see here is towards the bottom of it, you have multi-currency variations. So here we are actually doing a reversible revaluations. So this is something which you normally do it on a monthly perspective. And you can actually tell that what is your balance sheet account for loss and gain, profit and loss account for your gain and loss. If you even want to have any kind of analytical account to be tagged for that, you can give it. And finally, a revaluation account, which would be your account which tags all those values. So that's what you really require to do to manage your monthly revaluation processes. All right. So since we have done with the configuration part of it, let's start by doing some simple transactions and try to understand how this is going to reflect on your real case. So before I go ahead, let me just take some variations which I can find on my records. There you go. Where do I have the most fluctuations? Perfect. So towards 28th of February to March. Right. I can use March 12th. So what I'm trying to do here is I'm just trying to create a sales order, or let's put it this way, I already have the sales order here. So let me just try to create right, I already have the orders there. I'm picking up any one of the order, converting it into invoice. Now when I'm converting it into an invoice, by default the invoice would be having the default date, invoice date. In fact, for the demo purpose I need to back date it, so I'm just going to make it as 13th of March, and I'm pushing the due date as automatically 30 days from there. I'm saving that. So I think this is on AED currency, so let me just check if I have any customers on USD. I think this is on N80. No. Right. It's completely on 80. Okay. So let me do one thing. Let me just try to create a sales order for better understanding purpose. So here I'm going to select Costa here and be sure that currencies and everything is different. Fine. So sales orders. I'm just marking it as March 13th. Adding a couple of products here. Apple and Dell. Probably 5 pieces. And there is 5 pieces for this one as well. I don't think we will have 5 pieces inside the system, so let's make it as 3 pieces and save, not putting any further information, and confirm it. So when I confirm it, it jumps into the let me just receive. Okay, complete this part of it. Right, there you go. Create an invoice. So when I go to the invoice part of it, I have the provision to have the invoice in whatever formats I would like to have it. So I decided to have the invoice in USD format, and I'm just taking the date as 13th. Right, so that is also given here. So what you can see here is the system have automatically started pushing all those contents, and there you go, validated. So when I validate it, basically what happens here is there is a payable which is already generated. Let us go ahead and show you that you can see that. So the payables is already the this is the first one. So I believe this is going to be the one which we have used for the purpose. We can log in and we can see that. You can see that the Costa, the invoice number, it is $27,000, which is converted into 105, which is a value of that. Now basically whenever the payments is ready for this customer invoice, what you could actually do here is you can actually go ahead and sorry, not this one, this one. I can go for the register payment button, and when I go for the register payment, I can choose whatever payment methods which I'm going to do it. Now it is supposed to be a total payment of 27,000, whatever the value is. I can validate that payment. So you can see that the payment has been done, and once if there is any kind of adjustments which it requires to be done, you would be able to find the general details here. You can see all those values which is getting moved in. There is certain accounts which is for the stock purpose as well. So here it is using a stock valuation. That's why you are able to see the interim accounts for the deliverables and stock trading part of it. And let's look into the reconciled entries. You can see the exchange records here, and you have the exchange variation which is automatically coming into the system. So this is going to be a very simple example which shows that how exactly the system is automatically capturing all the realized currency variation to the system. So here you are not manually interfering into it. So if you look at the price point of March 13th, it is 105, but when you're trying to make it, it is 99,000. So you have an exchange variation of 5,000. So your invoice values here, your payment values here, whatever additional that you're getting, or whatever loss we are getting, it is getting mapped automatically into your exchange journal, and it is marked as what exactly is your loss on difference. So this is how exactly your system would be taking care of your exchange variations. Now, the second part, kind of scenario which you could actually have is with respect to, doing a monthly currency variations to be, tagged into the system and managed it. So what I'm doing here is I have the functionality inside the system where I can define it what all accounts are required for the purpose of monthly currency revaluations. So if you come down out of this 201 accounts, I have just selected two accounts. Now this could be in your real case scenarios. You might be having some asset other accounts which you might want to do it. You can do that as well. But at this point of time, for a demo purpose, I'm not using it. So here, if you look at it, you can see that this is going to be your, overseas accounts receivable and overseas accounts payable, the accounts which I'm using for the purpose of demo here. And what you need to do here is whenever you're looking for a currency revaluation, you can put the date of the currency revaluations which you want to do it. So on, uh, you know, 31st of the month, I want to have a revaluation and I want to validate and post it. So the system will do that complete revaluation and posting of that entry point because there is some variations which has happened to it. Now this is one entry. You can keep on. All you need to do here is just go back and tell, at the end of the month, what all currency variations you wanted to validate it, and rest the system will automatically do it. And let me just go it with this one. So I can tell whether you need to do it on a daily rate based or monthly rate base. We're going to use only the monthly rate base. So I'm just putting that as well. So once I've done it, if I go back to the journal, which I'm, initially defined here, if you come down and if you actually look at the journal which I'm using, it is currency valuation. I can see that all those entries would be reflected in the system automatically there. So let me just go ahead and group it for easy understanding. You can see the currency valuations. So you can see that exactly the currency valuations keep on happening on your system, and it keeps updating on your system on a monthly basis. Now the same thing, you could actually step into your TB and you can see the changes, and I don't think anybody would have any question on those part of it. But that's how the nutshell of two different. I think let me just take the others. I don't need printouts because sorry, this is. So if you really require to see the details, you can always go back and pull out these records where you would be able to get the details on that. There you go. So you can see that all the accounts reflected with unrealized loss on P&L side of it. Similarly, the revaluation account, your balance sheet revaluation account. So you can get all those details auto-generated from the system. So if you have any further question, do let us know. We can help you with that. Thank you.